Hey, how's it going? This is the Honda Civic build. It's going to be more along the lines of like a show street car. I'm going to maybe take it on track a little bit here and there, but it's not going to be focused on that. It'll have air conditioning, power steering. It's going to be a full street car. So a little bit of history on the car. It is a 1992 eg4 hatchback. So it is from Japan. I bought it about a year and a half ago through a local importer in Ohio. It's JDM Ohio Direct. If you ever need anything, hit Aaron up. Great dude, easy to work with. So shout out to him. And like I said, hit him up if you need anything. I purchased this car from him and it was in really good shape. Only had like, I think 50,000 kilometers or something like that. It's very low mileage car. It was in great shape. I tore it apart just because I wanted to do kind of like a mini restoration on it. So it came with a single cam with dual carbs and a 5-speed transmission. I couldn't get the motor to run right. So I kind of just said, you know what, I'm going to do a period correct build with the car and kind of go from there. So I'll walk around the car a little bit and I'll tell you some of my ideas. Currently right now, I just washed some of the chassis. So that's why it's sitting on rolling carts. I washed the bay. I'm going to end up painting it, just because the paint didn't come as clean as I wanted. So I will be painting it, kind of just keeping it like a OEM look. The motor that is going in it is this. It's a B18C 97 spec Type R motor. I found a Feels header for it, which is pretty cool. I'm going to polish that up. So that's the motor that's going to go in it. It's got the matching trans as well. So the whole idea between this is to put the motor in it and make it look like it came with it. So it'll have AC, power steering, like a factory air box. It'll look like it threw a couple parts on it, but nothing crazy. Suspension, I went with hard race, full rubber bushings, adjustable coilovers. Pretty much everything will be brand new. I'm gonna undercoat all the wheel wells and clean it all up and put it back together. I'm gonna paint the subframe and rebuild the rack and all that. The interior was currently pulled because I took the car apart to change the motor and realized the car was at OBD 0, which I didn't want to use a conversion harness or any of that to do the OBD 1 motor setup. So I bought a full chassis and engine harness. Shout out to Checkered Sports for that. It came from his eg4. Got lucky on that because finding a full right-hand drive eg4 chassis harness is pretty rough. So I got lucky on that one. The paint on the car is in really good shape. It's got some dings and dents here and there. I'm gonna get there's some small little things in the door. They're super minor, so I'm gonna have those PDR'd. And then the car, it's just really clean all over. So I cleaned up some of the chassis today. So I'm gonna put it back on jack stands and start assembling it. So I'm gonna, like I said, paint the engine bay, undercoat the underside, paint all the suspension, all new bearings and bushings. So put the chassis harness back in, the full interior carpet. It's got light gray interior, which I really like. This is my first Honda was white with the light gray interior. So I'm really into that. It'll have red SRD Recaros in it from a DC2 Type R. It'll also have a couple optional bits for the EG, double DIN gathers radio, full power windows, locks, climate control AC. So it's going to be a super nice street car to drive. I got some other small spoon parts for it that'll go on it. It's not going to be anything too crazy. I got a couple sets of wheels that I really like, 15x7 TEs, and then a set of old OZ Starlights that I got from a buddy that I really feel like set this car off and make it kind of one of a kind. So I got a couple different bumper options, fender options. This car is actually pretty interesting. So everybody says like, oh, the people in Japan want the US stuff. It's kind of, I guess, I never really realized how crazily they go. They cut the hole for the antenna to be on the passenger side how the US cars have it. That's not supposed to be that way in this car. It's either supposed to be on the right-hand driver's side or there's no holes. So I haven't been able to see from the inside to see if they actually patched this one or not. The car was painted in Japan. They actually did a really good job. So I am happy about that. I don't think the car would have survived if it wasn't painted. The body's super solid. So it looks good. But yeah, there's some things like that. And then the side markers on the fenders that aren't on the car right now also have, they're shaved. So they wanted that kind of US look, which I thought was interesting. The bay, like I said, will be painted white. I'm gonna keep the black grill thing here because I don't like to look through the bumper and see the white. I just think it doesn't look as clean. Besides that, the rear is drum, obviously because the eg4. So I'm going to keep the drums on the rear. I know a lot of people do disc. I just kind of want to do something different. And one of my buddies has aluminum CRX drums from a first gen CRX. So I found a set of the drum covers that are aluminum finned, brand new from Honda for this, and I picked them up. So that's what'll be on this, which I thought is really cool as well. So you get a little bit of idea of the chassis. I know it's kind of hard for me to explain because it looks so bare, but it's going to come together pretty quick once I get the bay painted because everything's mainly bolt-on. So I've got all the parts for it. I think there's just one thing I'm waiting on. So there it is. And hopefully you guys think it's as cool as I do, because this is probably my dream car, which sounds kind of weird, 92 Civic. So, all right, guys. Well, this is the start of this one, and hopefully we get some more content and go from there. See you later.